Hi, I'm Ash. Welcome to my channel, Ash of All Trades. This is part 3 of a 3-part series about my life in Singapore. In this video, I will cover the following topics. In households with families, it's very common to see a domestic helper. They provide extra hand in terms of household needs, chores, childcare, and help with pet care too. If you employ domestic help, you're expected to pay for flights on top of their fee. Singapore is one of the safest countries in the world. So whether you're walking out at 3 a.m. or 3 p.m., it makes no difference. Myself, I never felt threatened or unsafe while returning home alone at night or going out at night with my friends. I've also actually seen young children taking public transport without their parents or any adult supervision on their own. I'm actually more concerned about being scammed on Facebook Marketplace, if I'm being honest. So cyber crimes are among the most common crimes in Singapore. The first thing that jumps out at you is the safety for the women. I don't need to look at my clothes critically and see if I'm dressed appropriately as I had to in parts of India. But that being said, I do look critically at neatness and my fashion choices because, mind you, Singaporeans are very fashion and brand conscious. So you'll see a lot of Kate Spade, you will see a lot of Michael Kors, a lot of LV on trains and in offices. So shopping and retail therapy is the #1 activity for Singaporeans and, might I add, non-Singaporeans as well. So the number of malls here are overwhelming. MRT stations lead into malls, airports open into malls, hotels flow into malls. There are even malls within malls, so you can get lost as to knowing when one mall ends and another begins. Orchard Road is one of the central shopping districts. Women, there is no oogling, there is no staring, there is no teasing, there is no judgment, and no burglary. But it's actually quite common to see people's front doors open until late in the evenings. The island is also known as the Fine City. Not fine as in perfect, but fine as in a penalty. So fines are actually imposed for any antisocial behavior. It is illegal to import gums to sell. Also, spitting out gums on the street is a punishable offense with a fine, as is littering. But you will not get caned for chewing a gum or bringing it in for your own personal use. As an expat or a foreigner, you will probably be more worried about inadvertently breaking the law yourself than being targeted by criminals, because there's just so many rules and laws. And they include littering or eating on public transport or smoking in most public places. So both eating on public transport as well as smoking in public places is illegal, including drug use. They will give you a death sentence if you are convicted of drug use. Poppy seeds is illegal in Singapore, guys. During my time in Singapore, I missed my favorite Bengali dish, chinge posto, which is basically a vegetable cooked in poppy seeds paste. The government knows that Singapore's only resource is human talent. So from the moment you're born, you're pressured to perform and excel. So there is this resentment against foreigners by locals occasionally who come into the country and take the good jobs away or buy houses and hence push the cost of living high. But you know, this attitude is found among sections of the population in all countries. Medical service standard is very high and very efficient. Although there are public hospitals, most are private and you actually have to pay for any treatment or medication you receive. Many clinics have walk-in services, so if you need to see a specialist, you actually can get an appointment on the same day. If not, an online appointment with your prescription delivered to your door in minutes. According to a recent study, 46% said they would move to Singapore to improve their earnings, while 42% said they wish to improve their quality of life by moving to Singapore. I made 15.3 times more money working in Singapore than I would have in my home country when I just started my career. Your top 4 employment sectors in Singapore include financial services, telecoms, information technology, internet, and construction or engineering sectors. Singapore also has a very low unemployment rate of just 2.2% as of 2019. The financial sector is highly regulated, and all financial institutions have compliance departments that keep strictly to the rulings. So money laundering, illegal activities, they're all closely monitored. Typically, Singapore banks here are modern and efficient. You can open an account and get your ATM and ATM card, your checkbook in a matter of minutes. The biggest local banks are your United Overseas Bank, the Development Bank of Singapore, and the Overseas Chinese Banking Corporation. Singapore is very fast-paced, just like New York. Be aware, if you do come from a laid-back country, you are in for a very rude shock. Everyone's so busy, people struggle to find time to socialize, and add to this, people can be quite shy. But when diaries actually align, your barriers are broken, people get to know you better, they actually plan out-of-work activities whenever possible. Singaporeans enjoy karaoke, potluck, cycling, exploring food joints, cafes. Singapore lies almost on the equator, and that's why it offers a tropical climate with not really divided seasons. It has a year-round high temperature as well as high humidity and large amount of rain. Temperature usually ranges from 22 degrees to 34 degrees. Its hottest months are June and July, and its monsoon season is November to Feb. Tropical rain and thunder lands somewhere on the island every single day. So when the wind picks up, you can be sure the rain will quickly follow. But again, the sun will not be too far behind either. So even the wettest of your mornings can actually give way to the sunniest and the brightest of the afternoons. But don't think this means you don't need your warm clothes. People found it really hard to believe when they saw me wrapped in a jacket on Skype back home in India or in the UK. The air conditioning in offices, in malls, at homes, your public transport will actually freeze you, and you will be left regretting ditching that parka coat. Singapore is a modern, thriving first world city and the world's first smart nation. So it integrates full use of technology to live, work, and play. So from Wi-Fi in every building to automated electronic parking system, in short, EPS, that controls your traffic and parking payments in your daily drive about town, life in Singapore is always made easier thanks to the technology. As a resident, you get the RP, which is your residence permit, or the EP, which is your employment permit, or the S-Pass for mid-skilled level workers, which means you sail through immigration every time you enter or leave the country. And it's all thanks to technology and being the hotbed for such innovations. If you choose to become a permanent resident and you have children, be prepared to have your sons serve the mandatory 2-year national service in the military. Setting up home in Singapore is relatively easy compared to many other cities because service providers, like your utility providers, are generally highly organized and efficient. So power is supplied by SP Services, one of Singapore's 4 telecom companies, Singtel, StarHub, TPG Telecom, and M1 can provide you with a fixed phone line. StarHub can also provide you with a cable TV, and your estate agent actually can help you contact these relevant service providers for you. An Apple or Samsung phone will cost the same here as it would in London or New York. However, the good news is that contracts are relatively cheap by international standards, and with the competitive market, there are always new deals on offer. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you found it useful. Please like, share, or leave your comment below if you found the video useful. If you want me to cover any other topics, please subscribe to my channel for more such content.